host of the Gridiron.
Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking awesome. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's absolutely free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, top link, in the very top link in the description box, takes you to my membership page. I have 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then just underneath the membership link is a link that takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,400 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous. But basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, hey, another day, right? More bad news for the New York Football Giants. It really is. It's just absolutely unbelievable. Really is. I mean, I didn't really watch the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing the Chiefs, to be honest with you. But I mean, it is just absolutely amazing how like some teams have like all the luck in the world. And like the Giants, it's just unbelievable. Really, like not one thing has gone right for the Giants this season, not one. Meanwhile, you got the team that's what was the Raiders 2-9. They're driving. I don't even know. They're running a 30, 35 yard, somewhere around there. Not that the guy would have made the field goal, or whatever, but they could have kicked the field goal right where they were at. But they snapped the ball. Of course, it got botched, and of course, the Chiefs fell on it. It is unbelievable how lucky some teams are. I mean, it's oh no, that's not no. You're as lucky as you humanly possibly can. Find a way. Get the out of here. A team can't even snap. Get the. I just can't stand it. Absolutely can't stand it. Then you look at like with the Giants. I mean, we lose quite possibly 2 of our, obviously. Well, I mean, again, Andrew Thomas is going to probably lost our best player for the rest of the season. Not that it matters anyway. In a way, it's kind of good for him, So he has he doesn't have to worry about playing anymore for the rest of this crapola season. Then we lost one of our rising stars, Theo Johnson. Now I think he has like 29 receptions, but he has like, I forgot what it was. I think it says this in his article I'm going to be reading. But I mean, he has like whatever, 20 receptions, 18 or 19 in the last like 5 games. So he's starting to come on. I said the first like 4 games, I think he had 3. I mean, in the beginning of the year, it's like, do we have any tight ends on the team? I mean, and you were kind of hoping. I mean, Theo was getting a lot of playing time, and it was kind of like, what happened to Bellinger? Yeah. But I mean, so they were plugging, Theo in there, and his time's going. He's getting some targets. This time he caught all of his targets a couple of times. I mean, I can't say I've looked at the all 22 NFL film and seen, what targets he should have caught. But I know some of the times, one of the games, I think he had 6 targets. He caught 3 balls, So one time he had maybe 5 targets. He caught 3 balls, So, but this time he had 5 targets. He caught them all, right? He's not, catching 5 passes for 3 touchdowns and has 122 yards, receiving. But he has 29. If he played the whole season, he was on pace for probably at least 40, 45 receptions. And it's not too bad considering, not too bad considering we absolutely blow. We have no offense. And as I said, the first 4 games, he had 3 receptions, right? Give us a better offense, a better quarterback, yada, 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 if he can play the whole season, if he actually gets some receptions early on and all that stuff, I think I can, I don't know, 60 receptions in a season or something. That's not asking too much, right? I said he's probably not like going to be setting the league on fire with yards and catches and all that stuff and everything, but it looks like he's pretty decent tight end for the Giants. I would like to see him get maybe somebody a little bit more of a threat. Right? I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be next year, in the draft or whatever or something, but somewhere along the line, if we can draft a real nice receiving threat tight end, help with Malik, maybe get another, especially if Slayton winds up leaving, get another really good receiver too. That would be fantastic. But I mean, it's just the news is just oh man, it just boggles your brain, straight up boggles your brain. It's and I know it's football. Every team's got injuries. I get it. It's just. I mean, I mean. Well, I mean, I guess. Well, we had the one game in Seattle, right? We had the one nice game in Seattle. We had the game in Cleveland, but I mean, it's like, how many things have gone right for the Giants this season? Really? Yeah. And it's just not one. Once again, the Dexter Lawrence and losing Theo, another kick straight square in the cojones. Right? Absolutely unbelievable. Well, at least we I don't want to say it's a great thing. I mean, I'd still rather have a healthy Theo, but we did pick up Greg Dulcich last week. He's on the practice squad. We also picked up, I'm going to read in this article, another tight end who is on the practice squad. Dulcich was on the 53, right? Because he got released, waived, or whatever it was by the Broncos. So he's on a 53. However, he was not dressed because we had Manhurts, we had Bellinger, and we had Theo, right? So now we'll have Bellinger, we'll have Dulcich, and we'll have Bellinger, Manhurts, and Dulcich. And then we have another guy we just picked up who put on the practice squad. So, but unfortunately, not that he's having an unbelievably amazing, rookie season, but I mean, the snaps are invaluable. The nice thing is that he got a lot of snaps this year. Got a lot of snaps, so that's good. Now, if Daboll and Shane are back next season, obviously Theo will be back again, and this will be his second season in the system. Right, so we got this is from Big Blue View. There's a bunch of articles out there, but this one in particular from Big Blue View is from Ed Valentine. It says Dexter Lawrence and Theo Johnson may have had their seasons end for the New York Giants on Thursday. The 2-10 Giants keep hemorrhaging important players. It appears that star defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence might not be the only member of the Giants likely to have suffered a season-ending injury on Thursday against the Cowboys. Head coach Brian Daboll revealed on Friday that rookie tight end Theo Johnson suffered a foot injury that could cost him the remainder of the season. I mean, because heck, you can look at it now. I mean, a freaking hamstring injury could almost cost the guys their season. I mean, we only got 5 games left. I mean, no, don't get me wrong, we got 5. But, we have 10 days to our one game, so we still got time. But you break a bone, you're out. I mean, your season's out. So. But, Daboll said that he would anticipate Lawrence's dislocated elbow being long-term. And you know what? If the guy came back, I'm sure he'd want to play and all that. But you know what? Sexy, you've given so much this year. You've given your all. You had 9 sacks, a career high, right? Although in the past 3 or 4 games, I don't think he's had any. But, he's given his all. He's played a lot and all that. And, tell the dude to take the, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what his contract says as far as guaranteed money and all that and everything. But and let him take the rest of the season off. He shouldn't be hurting for money. And let him, rest up and come back for next season because we're going to need him. And hopefully we'll have somebody next to him who's not maybe is equal, but maybe we'll have somebody that we can get in the draft or a free agency who can help really against the run. Unfortunately, it's there. Johnson's injury is long-term as well, and there's definitely a potential he is done for the season. Sexy is the Giants' best player and probably their most respected locker room leader. There is no replacing what Lawrence, who might be the best defensive tackle in the league, brings to the Giants. Yep, you got that right. To make matters worse, the Giants have suffered a rash of injuries on the defense. I mean, this is just unbelievable, too. It is absolutely unbelievable. It's amazing how some teams get so lucky with the injuries and other teams just totally get decimated. It is absolutely amazing. They placed Armand Watts on injury reserve before Thursday's game. And then, of course, DJ Davidson got a shoulder. Nacho got a stinger. And they joined Lawrence on the side. They joined Lawrence on the sideline. So basically, like 60% or whatever it was of our defensive line knocked out of the game. It was unbelievable, absolutely. And we only lost by a touchdown. Right? They finished the game with seldom used Elijah Chapman and usually inactive Jordan Riley as the only healthy defensive lineman. We had two guys. It was Riley's a 7th round pick, 6th round, whatever he was, and then Elijah Chapman, an undrafted free agent. Those are our 2 defensive tackles that we had. Those are the 2 that we were allowed to finish with. Meanwhile, these other teams who keep winning and all that, they're so I can't stand it, man. I really can't stand it. We just keep getting pummeled with injuries, and other teams, look at the 49ers. They have Super Bowl aspirations, but they're getting decimated by injuries as well. They may not even make the playoffs. If they had all their players good and healthy, right? I mean, they would certainly probably have a really good chance of making the playoffs, but nope, they're not allowed to. Meanwhile, you got other teams out there. I'm not going to name other teams, but other teams that are relatively healthy. They just go through the games and everybody's healthy. Nobody even gets an ingrown toenail, week in and week out. Right? It's just I can't stand it. Absolutely can't stand it. Can't stand it. Let's see. The only other defensive lineman on the practice squad is undrafted free agent rookie Casey Rogers. So basically, the Giants have Casey Rogers, Elijah Chapman, and Jordan Riley. Those are like our defensive tackles. And everybody's screaming, I'm not saying he deserves to stay or go, whatever. I'm just saying is that everybody's like yelling that the team blows and fire Shane, fire Daboll, have Mara sell the team and then kill Mara. It's just I mean, look what we're playing with, right? Look what we're playing with. We've got a 3rd string quarterback in there. All our defensive linemen are all getting injured. It's just unbelievable. Our 2 tackles are injured. We're out for this by I don't know if Luminor's coming back, but I mean, our best offensive weapon or lineman obviously is out for the season. Just one after the other. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Johnson, the Giants' 4th round pick, had 5 catches for 54 yards on Thursday. He played with physicality and showed his athleticism. Yes, he did, by leaping over a defender to gain yards after the catch on one of his receptions. Now, I don't know when he came down, if something happened to his foot then. I don't know now, but that was an impressive leap. Johnson had 29 receptions so far in the season, including 18 in the final 5 games. So he's been coming on. He's averaging almost 4 receptions a game in the last 5 games. So he is coming on. But, I mean, a lot of it also, once again, it's the theory of relativity. Everything's relative, right? If you have a better offense or if you have a better defense, they're not on the field as long because they're stopping the other team, giving the ball back to you, right? So that if you have the ball more, he can possibly get more receptions. Likewise, if you have a better quarterback, a better offensive line, yada, 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 right? I mean, theory of relativity. If you got the ball longer with better players and blah, 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 right, you got a better chance to get more receptions, right? So, I mean, he was on pace if he played the final 5 games. I mean, he could have had maybe, I think, 40, 45 receptions. And I said in the first 4 games of the season, he only had 3 receptions. So if he was on pace, maybe to have like 45 receptions, that's not too bad. When you only have 3 in the first 4 games, that's not too bad for a rookie season on a putrid team with a 3rd-string quarterback in there. Our offensive tackles are backups, and it just, right? I mean, it's not too bad. Not too bad. That ends Daniel Bellinger and Chris Manners have been on the Giants' 53-man roster all season. Giants claim tight end Greg Dulcich off waivers from the Broncos this week, and it will now have to get him up to speed quickly. Well, he was brought in before the Cowboy game. Now he has 10 days, right, to get ready for the Saints game. Obviously, you're not going to be 100%. But, I mean, he'll have some of the quite a decent amount of the playbook, memorized by then. So, if he can stay healthy, you figure by the end of the season, we'll see. And maybe a fresh start for Greg Dulcich. Maybe he'll be around next year. Who knows? Right? He's still on his rookie deal. So, if we bring him back, right, he'll be on his rookie deal. He'll be on the cheap. So, and then they also recently added tight end Jordan Murray to their practice squad. So I haven't looked much up on him, but I'm sure if he was just signed off the streets or whatever it is, you can probably sure there's nothing super special. Then I got this other one from Athlon Sports, says pretty much the same thing. Giants are among the worst teams in football thanks to a confluence of poor talent and bad luck. Right? But the solace in every last season, at least in theory, is that it provides the opportunity to watch young players get meaningful playing time. Yes, it does. Even that has been tarnished for a Giants team mired in misfortune. In Thursday's loss to the Cowboys, rookie tight end Theo Johnson suffered a foot injury. Coordinating coach Brian Daboll is likely going to end his season. He injured his foot, Daboll said. This one's probably going to be a long-term one as well. His rookie campaign didn't end without flashes, including a 35-yard score against the Commanders. He may have just been hitting his stride, too. He set career high for yards in a game on Thursday with 54. His 5 catches also tied a career best for him. In his place will likely be newly acquired Greg Dulcich. So, but it is what it is. I mean, a couple of things, right? Is that now we have other guys that we bringing in. I mean, Jordan Riley's probably going to start getting some snaps, some meaningful snaps. Now, whether he makes the team next year or not, who knows? Elijah Chapman is going to get some snaps, some playing decent, some very valuable playing time. Now, once again, does he make the team next year? Who knows? But with these injuries, other guys have to step up and perform, right? And I mean, one little silver lining or whatever of this would be that, these are the Giants starters, right? Now, Theo Johnson was not the best offensive player. Sexy Dexy was on defense. But the one little silver lining, if you will, is that, now we're bringing in guys who aren't quite as good. So, I'm just saying something that might help the Giants lose some more football games, right? And, you know what I mean? Right? Get that number 1 or number 2 overall pick. Because the Raiders, they need a quarterback. So if the Giants and the Raiders go 1-2, however you look at it, you can probably almost guarantee Ward's going 1 or 2 and Sanders is going the other. Ward and Sanders are going 1 and 2, however you want to flip-flop them. So, the thing is that I'm not exactly sure, because what I thought I saw in a Facebook group was that obviously they're both 2-10, and I think the winning percentage was both the other team's opponents' winning percentage was both the same as both teams. So I'm not exactly sure. When I saw the chart, the Giants still had the number one pick. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. But you guys said you can bet your bottom dollar that quite possibly, if Giants and Raiders go 1-2, you might have Sanders and Ward go off the board 1 and 2 as well. So. But then, of course, I saw this too. Of course, this brings me back to my certainly not my glory days, but brings me back to my childhood memories. And when something brings me back to my childhood memories, it always just has a little spot in my heart for me. So this is the worst Giants team ever. There was an article here. Well, I'll read. And the thing is that obviously it can't be. It may be kind of like in one way, is because the 66 team only won one game. Now we won 2. Okay. One of the things with the 66 team was not one of the problems they had. I mean, they were just absolute garbage, absolute trash, straight up garbage. I mean, they had a couple of nice guys, but I mean, for the most part, they were just straight up garbage, right? But they could score some points. 66. They didn't have, their problem was their defense. They gave up 501 points in 14 games, so that's like 35 or 36 points a game they gave up. They were horrible. They scored over 40 points in the game twice, and they lost both contests. Right? They gave up the most points. Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't give up the most points. They gave up. It was the game, the 72-41 game. And they lost to the Redskins. That was the most points ever scored in the game. The Chicago Bears. It was 73-0. I believe they beat the Redskins in a championship game. That was the most points ever scored by one team in a game. But I said the Giants gave up 72 points. It was 69-41. And I mean, it goes to show you how it was back then. And you'll never really, probably, I mean, unless the coach is really has it in for the other. I mean, this is something Buddy Ryan would do. I mean, he would do something like this, when you're a low life like he is. Most coaches nowadays have respect for the other team and all that. For the most part, it was 69-41. They're up by the Redskins were up by 4 touchdowns with I don't know what it was, 10 seconds to go, 15, 20 seconds to go in the game. You're up by 4 touchdowns. Well, what wound up happening was, as the story goes, is Sam Huff, who used to play for the Giants, got traded to the Redskins, and Sam, ever since, he hated, the Giants for that. He did not want to get traded, and they traded him away. So what wound up happening was, with about whatever it was, 10, 20 seconds or so to go in the game, I guess a 4th down came up or something or whatever. And as the story goes, anyway, they had 69 points. So Sam calls timeout. And somehow he called timeout, and I believe Otto Graham was the coach. And somehow he called timeout, and he got the kicking unit on the field to kick a field goal. And I guess it was like 10, 15, 20 seconds to go in the game. The Redskins kicked a field goal to make it 72. So they got over 70 points. So it's made it 72-41. I mean, you probably would never see that nowadays. I mean, if it's 69-41 with 20, 30, whatever it is, they're just taking a knee. You know what I'm saying? You're up by 4 touchdowns with 10, 20 seconds to go in the game. You're not having But I mean, things like that kind of happened back then. But it's a little better nowadays, right? But I said, but I mean, the Giants defense was absolutely atrocious in 1961. This year obviously certainly isn't very good. We haven't won at home. I'm only averaging like 15 points a game. But the Giants, there have been years the Giants actually averaged less than. It was one of the years in the 70s averaged 12 points a game, right? They talk about how the Giants hadn't won a game at home yet this year. Well, in 1974, they didn't win a game at home. They played in the Yale Bowl. They played 7 games at home. They lost all 7 games at home. They won 2 games on the road, right? And I remember one of them was they beat Kansas City 33-27 in Kansas City. Had the Giants tackled, I can't remember who the ball carrier was, but they tackled one of the Kansas City Chiefs ball carriers at the 1-yard line, and time ran out. Had the game been 10 seconds longer, quite possibly the Chiefs might have scored a touchdown. And if Jan Stenero kicked the extra point, they would have won 34-33, I guess it was. So the Giants might have only won 1 game. But they said they tackled the guy at the 1-yard line, winning 33-27, I think it was, or 32-27. And the clock ran out. So the Giants got their second victory. Trying to think who else they beat in 74. Don't remember. Anyway, they only won 2 games in 74. I mean, they were absolutely horrible. Really, really horrible. There's a couple of years that they won 2 games. 1964, they were horrible. They were 2-10-2. They were absolutely horrible. So I said 1973, they were 2-11-1. They started the season off 1-0-1, and the remaining 12 games of the season, they wound up going 1-11. The one win out of the last 12 games was that they won a game. They beat the Cardinals at the Yale Bowl. Right, but in that they finished the season 1-11. They were 2-11. So the Giants had back-to-back 2-win seasons, 73 and 74. So I mean, with this season, I mean, you look at it too. A lot of it is like, I mean, obviously the Giants. We know. I mean, everybody keeps saying it's the quarterback, or it's like we got rid of Daniel Jones and we keep losing. Well, it's like, well, it couldn't have been Daniel Jones' fault because look what Tommy DeVito with, right? Well, the thing is that with the way Daniel Jones has been, and the way he's going to be, and DeVito, we don't have a quarterback. We have maybe a backup, but we don't have. I mean, maybe Daniel Jones is going to go to Minnesota, get some smelling salts and breath of fresh air and a new system and maybe it'll help him. But it just seemed like here he was kind of like damaged goods. Maybe afraid of getting hit, not hitting the wide open receiver. Sometimes when there were receivers, multiple receivers wide open, throw the ball. So on our roster, we just didn't have and even considering that, I mean, look, we of course we lost again on Thursday, but it was a 1-score game. Once again, I mean, the Cowboys were the better team. They outplayed us and they more yards and all that stuff and everything, right? But we had a 3rd-string quarterback in there. One of the I want to look at it. Some of the deciding points right there came right off of turnovers. The Giants didn't get any turnovers. The Cowboys did. Right? The one dude made a phenomenal play on the pick 6. If Drew Lock throws the ball in the air, it goes over the guy's head into Singletary's arms. Singletary runs down the sideline, picks up a bunch of yards. You take 7 points off the board. Right? If Drew Lock didn't make the fumble, and we covered around the 37 or 38-yard line of the Giants, and 6 plays later, the Cowboys scored. Maybe if he takes the sack or something like that, and a Scottish hammer booms it down inside the 10-yard line or so, the Cowboys got to go 90 yards. Maybe don't go 90 yards. Yeah. So the 2 touchdowns, one directly led to 7 points, the other one indirectly led to 7 points. The Cowboys got 2 turnovers. The Giants didn't get any. Right? But once again, it was a close game. We've lost a lot of close games. A lot of close games. We don't have, I said, will we ever know what happened to Daniel Jones? Possibly not. I mean, if he goes and does well in Minnesota, hey, good for you, right? But it just seemed the way it was here. He just seemed like he was just damaged goods. He just wasn't going to get any better. Yeah. So, but I got this article here. Is this it? New York Post. If it loads. All right, here we go. Is this it? Oh, here you go. Yeah. Could this be the worst Giants team in their 100-year history? Yeah. Yes. I mean, we lost a couple of, obviously a couple of games here. We lost, was it 28-3 to the Eagles? A couple of games 28-6 to Minnesota, although, of course, one of those touchdowns was the pick six, same kind of thing. Somebody out over here, right? Daniel Jones throws the ball instead of, maybe a little lob. But, I mean, the idea was to get the ball out fast. With Drew Lock, it was like Singletary was kind of like in the open, I think. He could have maybe lobbed it up, and Singletary could have, on the run, maybe caught it and kept running, right? But the thing is, I think with Daniel Jones is, I think they meant, I don't remember if they had a screen out or what it was. So, but he had to kind of get the ball out there fast. So throw it on a line drive. So just happened. The guy made a good play, right? But I mean, you look at a lot of these games, that the Giants lost were, close games. I said we lost by 10 points to Cincinnati, but with 2 minutes left to go in the game, it was 10-7. Right. I think the first play after the 2-minute warning, the guy ran like 30 yards or so for a touchdown to make it 17-7. But I mean, it was a lot of one-score games. They just were not winning them. I mean, so you're looking at like 1973. I mean, right? Well, 3 of the games we lost. We lost. The final game of the season was 31-7. We lost. It was at the Yale Bowl. That was the last game that Alex Webster ever coached for the Giants. It was in the snow. It was against Minnesota. We lost 31-7. I was watching it on TV. My last memories of him as a coach, he was walking off the field, snow-covered field. There was like some flurries were coming down. And 31-7 we lost. We also lost that year on Monday Night Football, 40-6 to the Rams. Yeah, I mean, that was just absolute total destruction. Then, of course, there's one of the most fondest games I ever remember, right? The 42-0 loss to the Oakland Raiders. And in that game, I mean, that was just a total beatdown. So, I mean, we lost like 3 games. It was almost kind of like last year. A few of the games we really got blown out in. A couple of the games we weren't even in. I mean, obviously one of them was the Dallas game. I mean, the 49er game, the Miami Dolphin game. Some of the games we really got blown out at. I mean, but in 73, we were just like, some of those games, we just got totally outclassed and just totally. So, I mean, to say this is the worst team of all time, I don't. I really don't think so. I don't think so. Said the 100th season of the Giants was meant to celebrate the past, but might wind up making all the wrong kinds of history instead. Mixed in with the introduction of a century red uniform list, recognizing all-time great players and moments, a community caravan, a documentary of late pioneering team owner Wellington Mara, and well-received events that brought fans closer to their favorite Super Bowl winning legends has been so much losing that it begs an uncomfortable question. Is the 100th team in Giants history actually the worst team in the Giants history? Let's say the sad reality is that the 2024 team might not clear the lowest bar now that the Giants have lost 7 straight to fall 2-10. It calls to mind owner John Mara's words previewing the season. We're all excited about it, a little nervous because we want to make sure that the 100th season, you'd like it to be a successful one, MaratolGiants.com. You like every season to be successful, but particularly this one. A lot of history behind those 100 years. Yep. Unsuccessful would be an understatement. All the worst seasons in franchise history, the 501 points allowed by the 1966 team, the 8-game season-ending losing streak in 2003, the Bill Parcells, Phil Simms drama in 1983, to name a few, have new company. With their worst 16 or 17 game season record, losing the final 5 games as underdogs in each of would mean a 118 winning percentage. They're talking about this year. That would be the franchise's second worst, ahead of the 66 team. That team was 112-1. They finished with a winning record of 107, winning percentage of 107. And behind the other two win outfits of 1947, they won 2 games. 64, they were 10-2, and 73 they were 2-11-1, and 74 they were 2-12. But they had back-to-back 2-win seasons. What the heck was it? Between 73 and 74, actually you can go 71 to 76. They had a 3-win season, a 4-win season, and 2 2-win seasons. Yeah, pretty bad. Winless, also the one thing here is also kind of a kicker here. Winless in the NFC East for the first time since permanently joining the division in 1970. The Giants have finished in last place 14 times, but never faced what would happen if they lose to the Eagles in Week 18 to go 0-6 against their 3 rivals. 0-6 in the division. The best hope of avoiding that dubious distinction might be if the Eagles already have clinched their playoff positioning and are resting their starters. So the Giants have never gone 0 and over in the NFC, in the NFC East, I guess. That's never happened. So let's see. With the fewest points scored in the NFL for the first time since 1953, when there were only 12 franchises starting 3 quarterbacks for the third time in the past 4 seasons. That's nobody's winning like that, right? Nobody's winning like that. Sorry. I mean, take Patrick Mahomes out of the lineup, right? 3 out of 4 years, past 4 years. Chiefs ain't winning the Super Bowl, right? They're lucky. I mean, they're good for them. They got the quarterback. Maybe might wind up being the greatest quarterback of all time, whatever. But once again, they're lucky. Right? The Giants are averaging 15.3 points per game. It would be the 5th time in the past 8 years that the Giants have ranked bottom 3 in scoring. With the longest losing streak in franchise history, single season or otherwise, the current 7-game slide is tied for the 7th worst mark and is creeping up on the 3-time record of 9 in a row, which was held in 1976, from 2003 to 2004, and the 2019 team lost 9 in a row. Let's see. Unless an unretired Eli Manning is going to save the day like he did when he came off the bench to start for an injured Daniel Jones and ended the 9-game skid in 2019. In his final career game, remember that against the Dolphins, the Giants could reach 12 straight losses by season's end. With the fewest interceptions by a defense in NFL history, the Giants already own the modern record since 1933 for consecutive games without an interception at 11 and counting. The 2018 49ers set the record for fewest single-season interceptions with 2. They had 2 interceptions that season. And the Giants haven't had a team with fewer than 6 interceptions since the statistic was first tracked in 1940. So, I mean, there's been a lot of bad, obviously, right? The weight of an unwelcome place in history is not lost on the 2 architects. Shane claimed to fully understand the responsibility that comes with being the general manager of the New York Football Giants on his first day in the job. A week later, on his first day, Daboll called it a historic franchise. 1,033 days later, I don't know why they're counting, but an embattled Daboll spoke again on the heels of Thursday's loss to the Cowboys. We'll do everything we can to go out there and play well and get a win. A forward-looking Daboll said, we have a lot of confidence in our people. Obviously not where we want to be by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously not. Obviously not. I mean, as I said, this one here, it's, every season has a story to it, and this one is no different, right? Just a lot of tough losses. Some bad opportunity plays at bad times, some poor tackling, bad turnover here, not getting a turnover there. One game not having a kicker. It's just, a lot of bad luck too. I mean, as I said, the Giants, don't win the Commander game because they don't have a kicker. Meanwhile, the Chiefs, who are like the luckiest team in football, win a football game because the team can't can't complete a snap. It's like, are you kidding me? Now, don't get me wrong. The Raiders would have had to kick a field goal, and a field goal would have been successful and all that. So that doesn't guarantee that. But the Chiefs are just unlucky, very, very lucky. I mean, last week. They beat the Carolina by 3 points. It was 27-27. Of course, Mahomes got the ball, walks them down the field in the final minute, and they kick a game-winning field goal. A week or so before that, they had a game-winning field goal, and they blocked a game-winning field. Guy put his arm up, and the ball goes into his arm. I mean, you got to be good to get in the back, all that. So you got to give the guy some credit. But once again, it's lucky too, because I can put my arm up. Doesn't mean I'm going to block it. Last time I checked, every time somebody kicks a field goal, usually arms go up. Right? Doesn't get blocked. Once again, the Chiefs have all the good luck, and teams like the Giants don't. It's absolutely freaking amazing. Absolutely amazing. I just can't stand stuff. Absolutely can't stand it. But say this is the worst team of all time. Nah. I mean, I said I was alive for the '66 team. I was only 2 years old though, but I do remember the '73, the '74 teams and all. And everything. They were pretty bad. They were pretty bad. All right, so let's go to our weekly kind of thing here. Let's go over the team grades after the Giants' lame Cowboys loss. Let's look at where the Giants team, where their team grades rank with all the other teams after their loss. Yeah, let's go to PFF here. Okay, I think I can pop it up. Yeah, should be able to pop this up here. Share the screen. Where are we at here? I got so many damn. There we go. Should be it. Okay, there we go. All right, let's start sharing. Okay, so what we got here, let's go to the overall team. Now that's the Lions with an overall team grade of 93.4. The Eagles, 92.3. They're number 2. The Ravens, you got the Falcons, but the Giants aren't last. Giants are number 27. And actually, the Giants' team grade, according to PFF, is even ranked higher than the Cowboys. Giants are 27th, 70.6. Offensive grades. Ravens are number 1, 87.8. The Lions are number 2 at 86.2. All right, but we got here Giants' offensive grade. They're once again 27th. 65.9. Passing grade. Ravens number 1, 90.3. All right, Giants. All right, number 28. Where are we at? 28. 62.8. Their passing grade. Pass blocking. Green Bay is number 1, 83.2. Broncos number 2 at 82. I mean, this is another one of the reasons why we had a hard time getting a hold of Baker Mayfield the other week. You know, the Buccaneers pass block was a 79.8. But the Giants, let's see here. Pass blocking is not. Well, once again, number 27. 58.8, our pass blocking grade. Receiving grade. The Lions, 86.1. Ravens, number 2, 85.5. Falcons, 80.9. So, all right, so let's get the Giants here. Where the heck are the Giants at? Receiving grade. Giants are number 30. 65.4. Receiving grade is number 30 overall as a team. Our running grade. Ravens are number 1, 92.2. Falcons are number 2 at a 92. Packers are 91.4. All right, so let's see. So we got Giants are number 20. Not bad, not too shabby. 76.1, the running grade. Run blocking. 49ers, number 1, 78.1. Lions are number 2, 77.9. So run blocking. Let's see, where are the Giants at? Number 23. There you go. 76.1. Wow. Oh, sorry. Whoa. Run blocking. Oh, let's try this again here. 60.5. I'm sorry. 76.1 was their running. 60.5 is their run blocking. I scrolled down. I lost my spot here. So there was 60.5, the number 23. And now we got to go to the defensive side. So the overall defensive grade, the Eagles have the number 1 defense, 88.4. And let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So the Giants defense is number 14. 2, 3, 4, 5. 69.5. Run defense. Overall run defense. The Vikings, 87.1. The Giants run defense. Number 18. 64.4. Tackling. Now, the Giants are absolutely trash. Their tackling has been absolutely abysmal all season long. And once again, it was absolute garbage against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Tackling the Steelers are number 1, 72.6. The Ravens are 71.2. They're in second place. So the Giants are, remember, they're in the 40s. They're 24. 43.1 is their tackling grade. Absolutely trash. Straight up trash. Pass rush. Steelers number 1, 90.3. The Eagles are number 2 at 86.9. The Giants, 75.7 with their pass rush. Not too shabby. Coverage grade. Eagles are number 1 at 90.8. And then we got, let's see here, the Giants coverage grade. They're number 20, 61.5. Special teams. Patriots, number 1, 90.8. Broncos are number 2 at 90.2. 3 teams are at 90.1. There's a team at 90. So a lot of good special teams out there. The Giants are number 16 overall, 79.9. So the Giants, obviously have. Where are we at here? Yeah. For the most part, it's bad, but yeah, Giants don't usually get a lot of love from PFF. I mean, this season, rightfully so, right? I mean, especially their tackling. Their tackling has been absolute garbage this season. It is unbelievable. Really, really bad. So let's go to Dun-dun-dun, the offensive grades after the Giants lame boo. Cowboys loss. All right, here we go. Let's once again we'll go and share my screen, and let's see here. Yeah, let's see. This should be it. Is this it? Yep. Okay, there it is. So we'll go over to the Cowboy game here, and let's see here. Game report. Let's see. All right, we'll go obviously start up with the offense here. So Malik Neighbors had the best game of all the Giant players. And I mean, once again, this is according to PFF and all that, but look, Drew Lock was up there, 68.9, not too bad. But let's see, Malik Neighbors was in there for 60 snaps, and 78.3 was his overall grade. Tyrone Tracy, 73.9. Drew Lock, as I said, he was in obviously all the 63 snaps, all the snaps, 68.9. The problem is that we'll notice once we get past Van Roten here, is that a lot of the Giants' offensive linemen are down at the bottom, which is obviously not a good thing. Which is usually for whatever. Every time it seems like we play the Cowboys, we for whatever reason we can't seem to block them. It is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. There's a Theo Johnson was in there for 56 snaps, 66.5. Chris Manhertz was in there for 21 snaps, 65.3. Greg Van Roten was in there for 63 snaps at right guard. He's 64.2, a solid game for him. Jalen Hyatt was in there for only 18 snaps, 63.6. Eric Fumble the Ball Gray was in there for only 4 snaps. He graded a 61.1. Joshua Zudu played 1 snap. It was probably maybe, I'm thinking, kind of a jumbo package. I'm thinking he just graded out of the 60. Smith Marset obviously did not do, we'll check him out more, obviously closely on the special teams where he had at least one pretty good return on punt return. So Smith said he was one snap, 58.8. John Michael Schmitz, center, obviously all 63 snaps, graded out of 58.3. As I said, for a second round pick, I would really like this to be better. I don't want to say I'm totally disappointed, but I was kind of hoping that, I don't know. I certainly don't want to say bust with Schmitz. Certainly don't want to say that. I was just kind of hoping he might be a little bit better, but maybe, they do say too, a lot of times is that when his third season rolls around, that's pretty much about what you're going to get. So maybe you can, work a little bit more on his off season and get a little bit better, right? But for a second round pick to pick him as a center, I was kind of hoping, get a little bit more out of it than what we'd be getting out of him. But Chris Hubbard, oh my God, 56.5. Devin Singletary was in there for 13 snaps, 54.7. John Runyon, 63 snaps, all 63 snaps. He graded at 54.2. Wandale Robinson was in there for 48 snaps, 48.4. Evan Neal, right tackle for 63 snaps. He graded out of 46.8. Once again, absolutely horrible. Pass blocking at 30.4. I would love to see him try the guy at right guard or guard. Try right guard. I'd love to see the guy in guard. That way he's not on an island trying to go up once these freak of nature edge rushers that he can't, has a hard time keeping up with, right? Once again, his run blocking was very good, 68.7, but his pass protection, once again, horrible. Daniel Bellinger was in there for just 4 snaps. It's almost like the guy's the forgotten man. He got all those snaps 2 years ago, and now he can hardly get on the field. I don't understand it, but and once again, Okay, so at 44.8, and then the last one was Darius Slate. He was in there for 43 snaps. He graded out of 44.7. Now, the thing is that it was like with Daniel Bellinger, is that, usually what they say, is a lot of times is, what's the guy, what's his capability or, whatever. A lot of times, like I heard Shane say this. I've heard some other people say this too, but like the third season, it's pretty much about what you're going to get, So once they start off with rookies and then you learn and then they go, a little bit, But usually by about the time the third season rolls around, that's close to like their ceiling, right? So I mean, not that the guy he was setting the world on fire or nothing 2 years ago, but he was in there a lot, had a lot of snaps, and like ever since then, it's like he's up here, and then he's just been like, why are we? What is going on? Why is he getting worse? Why is his snaps diminishing? I mean, I know last year, I guess, because of Waller, but I mean, just he's not getting better. Balance. I mean, what's going on? I mean, just we got to be developing these guys, and just not doing it. Some of these guys, it's like they're just getting worse as time goes by. Kind of makes you wonder. I mean, it's like these guys, you like to draft them, you develop them, and you keep them. But that's like we draft them. It's like we're not developing them, and then we just like let them go. It's like, well, why are we drafting them for? It's like, once again, this year's draft class. Really, I mean, we can go over and spend some more time in depth and detail about the three draft class that Shane has had. But I mean, you start looking at that one from 2022, and it's more and more. You just start like, some of those picks, you kind of like shaking your head at nowadays. It's kind of like, I mean, Zudu, McKeithen, and Neal. It's like, did we strike out with all three? Yeah. So, but as of right now, anyway, except for maybe Muasau. Yeah, but he was a 6th-round pick. I mean, you're going to get what you're going to get, right? But I mean, it looks like 5 out of the 6 guys that we drafted in this class seem like they're pretty good. So this draft class seems okay. So if we can duplicate that again next season in the draft, that would be huge, absolutely huge. All right, so we finished up with the offensive grades. So now let's go to the defensive side of the ball. And finally, good old Mr. Okereke here, starting to find some get. I think he had 9 tackles, so good for him. I mean, there's been some of the times it's like I mean, you think of Okereke from with the Colts, the tackling machine, and when we got it like last year, dude, just a tackling machine, and then sometimes this year it's like you look at the box score, it's like Okereke. 4 tackles, huh? Yeah. Did he only play like 1 quarter or something? It's like, I mean, there must be how Bowen is using them, what he's asking them to do and stuff like that. It's almost like you're I don't know. You're taking away the best part of the one of the best parts of the So, but he had a good tackling game anyway this weekend, and of course he punched the ball out. But of course, see, when you're lucky, that's a fumble. When you're not lucky, the quarterback gets his knee down about that much before the ball comes out. So the Cowboys, they got lucky. Of course, the Giants didn't get lucky. Right? That one turnover would have taken away some points for the Cowboys and quite possibly made a different outcome of the football game. But once again, Giants didn't have any luck. Jenkins stayed. Daboll coaching decisions destroyed the Giants' offense. Yeah, I'll tell you what, boy, man, I'll tell you, it's like I was looking forward to him, when calling the plays and all that and everything. And it's almost kind of like, it's like, this is it? Really? I mean, I was expecting like all kinds of fancy stuff and but nada. Nothing. I mean, I'm just like, so Very disappointing. Needs to go. Shane drafted the right players and Daboll sabotaged the team. Well, I'll tell you what, they did do a good job this year in the draft. I mean, very, very good job. I mean, if we can duplicate that again next year, that would be fantastic. So, because I think we're supposed to have quite possibly a fourth-round compensatory pick. So we might have hopefully a first, a second, a third, maybe 2 fourths. So if we can do what we did in last year's draft, in this upcoming draft, and we can add another 4 guys or 5 guys or so solid players to this roster, that would help. Plus, we have money, in free agency, and we can bring in a good player or 2. So, so we can certainly, add some players this year. That's for darn sure. Let me share my screen here again here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. I got to change the offense here. All right, hold on here. Go back. All right, let's go back to the defense here. Defensive side. There we go. All right. Brian Burnsy was number 1. Yeah. See, the Giants, I mean, the one of the problems, they had 7. They only, according to PFF, right, they had a grand total of 7 pressures. But, of course, they had no sacks, which didn't help at all. Right, they had 4 hits and 3 hurries, and they had 1 batted ball. So, but, I mean, here, PFF had them with 14 missed tackles. 14. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. A lot of guys had 2 missed tackles. I mean, just horrible. But Burnsy, all right, he led the whole team. He had 81.7 grade. Bobby Okereke came in there, right? He had 76.1. Dory Jackson, wow, 75.8. His tackling was bad. You can tell the guys who missed tackles, right? Dory Jackson got a 38. Kayvon had a 26. We got Andrew Phillips with a 28. Pinnock with a 39. McFadden, he's always missing tackles, with a 30. Dexter Lawrence, he had a 29. Dane Belton with a 25. So we had some guys that had some bad tackling grades. Kayvon was rated out of 70. He played 62 snaps. Cordell Flott had a very good game. 74 snaps. Played almost the whole game. Looks like 75. Because Newman, once again, looked like he played every snap. All right, so you got Newman and Pinnock, the two safeties, played every snap. But Newman had rated out of 67.1. Solid game. Nacho was in there for 34 snaps, and then he got the stinger, and he had to wind up leaving. He graded a 68.3. It's an Andrew Phillips, graded a 66.9. Good, solid game, except, as I said, I mean, his tackling. What did he do here? He missed 2 tackles. He had 3, according to PFF, that is. That's all I'm going by. He had 3 tackles, 1 assisted tackle, so he had 4 tackles, and apparently, according to PFF, he missed 2 tackle attempts. So that's why his tackling grade was at 28.6. So that pulled this down. I mean, the Giants in the beginning of the game were missing tackles left and right. It was horrible. Jason Pinnock rated at 64. He was in there, as I said, like for all 75 snaps, Pinnock was in there. Toman Fox, who they brought up, obviously, because of Azeez Ojulari going on the injury reserve, right? Let's see, 28 snaps, he graded at 63.2. Micah McFadden, 59 snaps, he graded out of 61.9. Once again, let's see, how many he missed? He missed 2 tackles. He's usually good for missing at least 1 or 2 tackles each week, Micah McFadden. Greg Stroman, 1 snap, he graded out of 60. Sexy Dex, he was in there for 40 snaps. 59.6. DJ Davidson. Now you kind of wonder, like, the 59.6. What I don't know is exactly when he got injured. Did he get injured? Did he come right out right away? Did he get injured and he tried to play a few more snaps with the injury? I don't know exactly. But this is one of his worst games at a 59.6. Actually, might be his worst. Let's see. Dexter Lawrence. Is this his worst game of the year? Yeah. His worst game of the year was the other Dallas game, 61.4. But this one's 59.6. So Sexy's great overall PFF grades an 89.9 for the season. Not quite a 90 because of this game here, the Dallas game where he got hurt. He graded at 59.6. That pulled him under a 90. So he played in 551 snaps for the season, and he graded out at 89.9 overall. So he wound up with 36 total pressures. They got him here for 10 sacks, but he actually had 9. But, so fantastic season for Sexy. Well worth the money. Well worth the money. Where we at here? DJ Davidson was in there for 10 snaps, and he got injured. He graded at 58.1. Darius Muasau was in there for 14 snaps, graded at a 55.8. Dane Belton was in there for 15 snaps. It must have been when they had the 3 safety look, because then you had Belton, Newman, and Pinnock in there at safety. So Belton was in there for 15 snaps, graded at 46.6. Elijah Chapman was in there for 47 snaps. He graded at 31.6. And Jordan Riley, 30 snaps, 31.3. Now you'll notice, obviously, that right here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 of the bottom 6 grades were the defensive linemen. So I mean, the defensive guys in the defensive line did not do a good job. Ergo, they wind up with obviously all their rushing yards, right? Daboll wound up with over 100 yards rushing. It was the first Cowboy in 26 games. They eclipsed the 100-yard mark, right? Of course, they did that against the Giants. So the Giants' run defense was absolutely horrible. And as you'll notice down here, Dexter Lawrence, DJ Davidson, Chapman, and Riley, 4 out of the bottom 6 grades for the Giants on defense. 4 of the bottom 6 were defensive linemen. Oh, we got Joe Shane didn't mess up the deal. Shane wanted to draft Aiden Hutchinson. Oh, yeah. Didn't want Tibbs. They just got Thibodeau because he was available. Remember, Kafka was the one calling the play. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. Kafka called plays, led us to the playoffs, not Daboll. Oh, yeah. Yep. Now, I mean, obviously, Daniel Jones was healthy. We had a healthy Saquon Barkley. Obviously, we didn't have Malik Neighbors. But in 2022, we didn't have, we didn't have Waller, who we had last season. So we had a little different players and all that and everything. But, just 2022 was a very nice season for the Giants. I mean, obviously we weren't part of the upper echelon because like the Eagles would beat the crap out of us. We got embarrassed in a couple games there, but it was a good season, real good season. Now it's going to be interesting to see where Kafka winds up going because I can't see him staying around here. Much longer after this season's over with. I'm sure if he can get a job someplace else, I'm sure he'll wind up taking it. So then it'll be interesting to see if he becomes an offensive coordinator someplace, right? And if he calls plays and let's see how he does. Be interesting to see. I'll tell you what, I mean, it's just I'm very disappointed with the way the offense, this season. I mean, like the play calling, and I thought like with Daboll calling the plays, I thought stuff. I was expecting some real excitement, but certainly not seeing it. All right, so let's finish it up here one more time. We'll go with the special teams. Now, usually with the special teams, there's a whole slew of guys that are on special teams, and a lot of them want to grade out at like a 60. But let's go to, let's see, share my screen here one more time. And, all right, let's go to, special teams. There we go. Whole slew of guys here. And a couple guys with some good grades here. I mean, wow. Yeah. All right. So Art Green. Total of 27 snaps. Whew. He played like everything. 6 on a kickoff return, 5 kick coverage, 5 punt return, 6 punt coverage, 5 field goal block. I mean, he's 27 snaps. That's a lot. So he graded a 79.3 overall for the Giants. Bryce Ford Wheaton, 16 snaps on special teams. He graded a 75. Theo Johnson, 10 snaps on special teams, 74.5. Tyler Nubin, 10 snaps. So not only did he play like pretty much every snap on defense, but he also played 10 snaps on special teams as well. He graded out 62.4. Matthew Adams, 26 snaps, graded out of 62. Micah McFadden, 5 snaps. Looks like he was all in kick coverage, 61.7. Patrick Johnson was in there for 22 snaps, 61.2. Isaiah Simmons, I don't know. We brought him back, this, that, and the other thing, and Shane Bowen said it looked like he was going to be the money backer and this, that, and the other thing. That ain't happening. And we brought Isaiah Simmons back, I think, pick number 8 in the draft a few years back, and all he did was play 7 snaps for us. A freakish athlete, and we can only find him 7 snaps for the guy. Unbelievable. He graded out of 61. Elijah Chapman, 7 snaps, graded out of 60.9. Toman Fox, 10 snaps, graded out of 60.9. Then you got John Runyon. He was in there for 4 snaps. He graded out of 60. A lot of guys graded out at 60s. A lot of guys. So all these next guys are grading out pretty much at the 60. But Andrew Phillips was 5 snaps. Cordell Flott was 5 snaps. The Hammers, Jamie Gillen, was 10 snaps. Aaron Stinney was in 4 snaps. Chris Hubbard, 4 snaps. Nacho was 5 snaps. Jason Pinnock was in there for 5 snaps. Ty Summers was 18 snaps. Greg Van Roten, 3 snaps. Joshua Zudu got in there for 4 snaps. Bobby Okereke was in there for 5 snaps. Joshua Miles was in there for 3 snaps. Smith Marset was in there for 11 snaps. He graded out 60. A lot of guys, 60s. Jordan Riley was in there for 6 snaps. He graded out exactly to 60. Graham Gano, 9 snaps. He graded out to 60. Greg Stroman Jr. was in there for 5 snaps. Dane Belton was in there for 27 snaps. DJ Davidson, 4 snaps. Eric Gray was in there for 6 snaps. Now, I don't understand. One thing I don't understand, he was in there for 6 snaps. He fumbled a ball, right? And he still graded out like a 59.4. I don't quite understand that. But Daniel Bellinger, 12 snaps, 59.2. Chris Manhertz was in there for 10 snaps, 58.9. Darius Muasau, 24 snaps, 56.4. And Casey Kreider, the long snapper, was in there for 10 snaps, graded out of 52.5 overall. So, I mean, the one thing is that obviously a lot with special teams, you got a lot of players. It just goes to show you, right? If you you look at that, you just realize how many different players contribute to the special teams. I'm going to convince Kafka to stay. Kafka wants to stay. I convince. Oh, Benny G-Man's in the house. What's up, brother? Shane Picks have so many misses. Yeah, I mean, it's like his first 2 classes. I mean, it's just, I mean, this last one here, we only had the 6 picks. The first one, I think he had 11 picks in 2022. But if you start looking at that, you start going back to those 11 guys, you're kind of like, I think we could have done a little bit better, But, I mean, this class here with the 6 picks, it looks like 5 of them seem pretty decent now. We need to duplicate that again this upcoming season. We'll have some money. We can certainly add a good player or 2 in special in free agency. without question. But, obviously you got to hit on those draft picks, and they got to do a better job. Yeah, as I said, this past season, I mean, Malik looks, Malik, Newman, Phillips, Theo Johnson, and Tracy. Those 5 guys really look, pretty good. They hopefully look like keepers. Now, hopefully, he said, hopefully the guys, will get, and they'll keep projecting or going up, right? As they come in, as they play more snaps and they play more years and this, that, and they have more experience and all, they get a little bit better, right? We don't want them like flatline or anything like that. So hopefully, Newman and Phillips and Tracy and Theo and all that, hopefully they'll continue to get better, right? Which is what you want. And then not only that, but the important thing too is that if the guys keep going up, when the rookie deal's up, let's see if we can keep these guys. That would be fantastic. But this upcoming draft would be huge. And I said, I think because of Ben Bredesen, I mean, it's not set in stone or nothing like that, but I think because of Ben Bredesen, the Giants might wind up with a 4th round compensatory pick, which would be great. Right, so we might have a 1st, a 2nd, obviously a 3rd, maybe 2 4ths. So you figure in the top 100, 120. Well, if we're picking 1, wow. Well, we're picking 1st. Just say that we'd have 4 picks in the top 100, right? Because the compensatory pick would be toward the end of the 4th round. But if we can get 4 picks in the top 100. That would be pretty good, but you got to hit on them. You can't do this Evan Neal stuff at pick number 7. It's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Shane drafted the right prospect. Daboll coaching decisions destroyed the team. Of course, Shane had misses, but GMs doesn't. Joe Shane is good. Well, unfortunately, a lot of it, is that, you can draft the right guys, but when, it's like they're your babies, right? And then you let them go, and he doesn't develop them, right? He doesn't put them in the right situations or the wrong situations, or, that's what the coaches are there for. The coaches are there to teach him and train him and, put him in the best positions to be successful and all that. Shane don't do that. So, so that's a good point as well, too, But Shane, this is going to be the big. Once again, all the off seasons are big. Last season was big because what's going on with Saquon, right? This off season, and now that Daniel Jones is gone, what we're going to do at quarterback. So every off season's huge, right? But I said that this off season, we should have a bunch of we should have some money to spend, and we should have a decent amount of draft picks. Remember, last year we only had 6 picks. Right, but this year we should hopefully have a full slate of picks, which would be really, really good. So, all right, guys, been 1 hour and 18 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, Vinny G-Man, thanks, pal. And Matt, good talking to you, pal. Thanks. It's 3 o'clock in the morning here. Thank you for staying up with me. I greatly appreciate it. Helps keep me awake. I'd hate to be doing a video on, the Giants, So, thank you, guys. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. So whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means well to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.